Hi everyone, I'm Niky Barker with the Barker Group at Keller Williams Signature, and today I want to walk you through what's really happening in the Katy, Texas real estate market during spring 2026. If you've been wondering whether now is a good time to buy, sell, invest, or simply wait and watch, the data is actually giving us a very clear picture. And the biggest takeaway is this: the Katy market is rebalancing, not collapsing. Over the last few years, we experienced an extreme seller's market. Inventory was incredibly low, homes were selling almost instantly, and buyers had very little negotiating power. But spring 2026 is different. We're finally seeing a healthier, more balanced market emerge. Let's start with inventory. Active listing volume in Katy reached approximately $1.18 billion in April 2026. That's up 19% compared to this same time last year. What that means is buyers now have more choices, more opportunities, and more time to evaluate homes before making decisions. For buyers, that's a huge shift. Instead of rushing into multiple offer situations immediately, many buyers are now able to compare properties, negotiate terms, and move more strategically. We're also seeing inventory levels approach 4 months of supply, which is generally considered close to a balanced market. Now, even though inventory is rising, demand is still strong. Closed sales volume increased to $242 million in April, up 8% year over year. Pending sales activity also remains healthy, showing us that buyers are still active and confident in the market. So despite higher inventory, homes are still selling. And that's important because it tells us this market is stabilizing, not slowing down dramatically. Another key metric we're watching is the close to list price ratio. Right now, sellers are still averaging around 95% of list price. That's slightly lower than last year's 97%, but it's still a strong number. Sellers who price correctly and prepare their homes well are continuing to see solid results. What's changed is that buyers now have negotiating room they simply didn't have a couple years ago. We're also seeing homes stay on the market a little longer. Average days on market has increased from around 43 days last year to approximately 55 days this spring. That doesn't mean homes aren't selling. It just means the market is becoming more thoughtful and less reactive. For sellers, strategy matters more than ever. The homes that are sitting the longest are typically overpriced or underprepared, but homes that are staged properly, marketed well, and priced accurately are still moving successfully. So if you're a seller watching this, the opportunity is still absolutely there, but pricing correctly from day one is critical. For buyers, this environment can actually be very favorable. You now have more inventory to choose from, more leverage during negotiations, and more time to conduct inspections and due diligence. That creates opportunities for smart buyers who are financially prepared and working with the right local guidance. And that's really the theme of the spring 2026 market. Preparation and strategy are winning. Whether you're buying or selling, success in this market comes from understanding the data, understanding neighborhood trends, and making informed decisions instead of emotional ones. Katy continues to be one of the strongest suburban markets in the greater Houston area because of its schools, location, master planned communities, and long-term growth potential. And even as conditions rebalance, demand for this area remains incredibly steady. So if you've been waiting for the market to crash, the numbers simply don't support that narrative. What we're seeing instead is normalization, more balance, more opportunity, and a healthier overall market environment. If you're thinking about making a move in Katy, Fort Bend County, or anywhere in the greater Houston area, I'd love to help you understand what these numbers mean specifically for your goals. Again, I'm Niky Barker with the Barker Group at Keller Williams Signature. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next market update.